Isaac says I'm the king of Japa, but I am actually one of the best. I wouldn't have been there if I did not have those experiences of service.
Humble about it.
But that's the truth.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Japa Chronicles. I remain your humble
co-host.
Your humble. Should I say it? Let me say it. Let me say it. Why are you looking at me now? Say it. Should I say it?
What's going on?
Today, now maybe guess. I know they talk.
Oh yeah, I remember your humble host.
I'm saving my energy
for today. Isaac. Yeah, that's my name. I have Victoria.
What's your son name?
Why you? So I can't. My business can be out there. How do you know my phone name?
What's wrong with mentioning your son name?
No, I don't want people to know my phone name. I don't. In case somebody says something and DSS is now looking for people. You understand? Me, they don't come easily find me.
Medical tourist.
Yeah, I said it again. So yeah, we have
Victoria.
I don't think we should just do it like that.
Do what?
Your introduction.
Guys, we brought a rookie.
We brought a rookie.
we brought a rookie to the set today. We allowed. People have been asking me, who's that fine voice that I'm hearing in the back? Who are the fine voices? Oh yeah, boys. But
boys.
She's taking. I know. She's taking.
Are you? You're taking?
I associate myself with women that are ready.
But she told me she wasn't taking, right?
I told you I was taking.
She's taking. Because I put her for now my Banter Liga group. Naim, who is that girl? I need to hear about that girl. She's taking.
Wait, let's
my guy, when you are seeing this
let's
video.
unpack this. Which group do you put her in that I'm not inside?
Banter Liga now. You know they play FPL.
Does she play FPL?
No. But they post podcast for all my.
Okay, you put her video.
No, like the podcast video.
Okay.
So you don't share a video.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only one doing the work.
I share now.
Oh, okay. So Banter Liga. But you go join next season now.
I'll join next season.
Banter Liga,
but
we go get championship next season.
The issue now is let's leave Banter Liga first.
Okay.
When were you taking? In short, it's just taking why show the podcast.
You sure you know this is not about me.
I got in here. Please go.
This is not about me.
So it's good now. You are single. She's fianced up. I'm married. You get.
There's no balance.
I think it's actually balanced. We
have balanced.
The one that.
Who told you I'm single?
Okay, are you single, Isaac?
So as I saying,
he's not gonna talk.
Yeah,
so Isaac is not ready. You know, we always like to be established before we figure out what we want to do.
I need to be going on holiday abroad.
Before you can
make me say we patronize my Japa Limited. You understand?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
With discount.
Yeah. No. No. But forget it.
Which one is forget it?
So
I get 50%.
You know, Rookie, introduce yourself.
Hi guys. My name is Victoria Batley. Yeah, I'm not new. I've been the voice behind the scene.
So we brought her off the bench today.
It's so good to be here. And I think you should introduce yourself too. I know they know you, but today is special. Like
KOJ.
Is that what you're coming on? What's KOJ? Give us the full name.
King of Japa.
The King of Japa.
Who is the King of Japa?
Let me just say something. You know the funny thing. Thank God that. You know, for people don't know that me and Sheku Johnson go a long way. You are like my Sheku Johnson because every time, my hype now you. I am him. If you didn't do King of Japa, now you.
For the first time, I give him credit.
Yeah, no, I'm giving because
that's true. This is the first
next
time.
Credit alert.
You know, but it's nice. You know the funny thing, and yes, my name is Oladipupo and I'm the King of Japa. It's funny, like just like in sports, everybody needs confidence. It feels good for people to tell you who you are and for the results to back it up. Everybody needs confidence. So I can't lie. Since you started calling me King of Japa, I'm so Nigerian. I'm feeling it. I'm like, I can't lie.
But that's who you are now.
Yeah.
I even remember.
The only reason I'm trusting God is so that I will not have pride. Let God just because
pay it.
Self-control.
Self-control. Because this day everybody has my guy, we're having a meeting on one of my NGOs that I'm on the board of, and my guy was like, you got on blow. Say in the office, saying they telling customer in colleagues say if you didn't do it. You know, but yeah, we thank God. We
thank God for growth. And for me.
Well, I can't lie. Yes, Isaac has been instrumental to a lot of things, but just like everybody, I mean, I can't. It's funny, and this podcast, let me just hype everybody in the office so that when they are watching it,
because they are coming for you.
No, I really I'm super super grateful for how far we've come. Like it's even with all the challenges, like the people that are with us, people that stay with us for a bit, it's fun. It's fun leading, it's fun, running a business like a family and meeting new people. And the biggest risk with business is the fear of the unknown, but which is really with life, right? And when I began to employ people full time, one of my biggest fears was always like, I never want to owe salary. And so I used to tell myself that time, okay, let me always be seeing 2 months salary in my account so that at least I go give them notice that okay, things are not going well. Perhaps Boya issue, please find somewhere else.
Maybe not see such.
But that's really what God has done. Like now it's been 3+ years and now team growing. Yesterday, I was telling my wife and my mom this morning. Yesterday, person at the office, he said, I'm here from NYSC. Click. You are recruiting somebody. You forgotten that you're recruiting somebody. So now we are 18 in the office.
You 18 or 20? I thought we were 20.
No, plus me 19. No.
Okay, yeah, 19.
Yeah, wow. 18. Yeah. Okay, yeah, 18. And yeah, so it's interesting.
I like you were 13, sure.
And yeah, that's funny, right? Yeah. 3 of you resumed in January. So since January to now, we've added 9 people.
9 people.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's humbling. And we all need that confidence, right? But it's humbling.
Yeah. We have Nakob K behind the scene.
Yeah.
She was clapping now. Yeah. I wasn't wondering why she was clapping. I just realized
she's fact checking.
She's fact checking today.
We brought her from
the
reserves.
Hi, Nakob K.
She's feeling
you cannot be telling me. Pride. But yeah, Victoria, how was your weekend?
Weekend was fine. Was quite busy for me because I was not really at home and all. I was outside in traffic.
With who?
The traffic this week. No, not that.
But the traffic this weekend. Yeah, those boyfriend patrol. You just want to know.
Boyfriend patrol. I don't.
But wait, really, I want to know because I know they like very out stuff. No, tell us what you did.
You say traffic. Did you go out to traffic?
Okay.
I went to Eko. I went to Lekpo. Mile 12. Let us know.
No, actually,
they took me out.
I was in Egbeda.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was in Egbeda.
Doing what?
Trenches.
I was in.
I see the tango tosi. You guys can see Tosi is one of our producers. I see the tango tosi.
Where is
Egbeda people?
Where are you staying?
I stay in Magodo, bro. One of the
Akbar.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay.
What's
let's not even go into that. So I was in Egbeda. I don't know how this is
relevant. It's a lifestyle podcast.
Okay, so a very close friend, or should I say family of my family friend, they opened their restaurant around that area.
That's true now. But we're not plugging them.
You will actually. That's the plan.
And then you will send me free food.
What's the name?
If you want that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but that's the plan. No.
Is it like our regular spot? Is it like our
compose the letter
for us? So is it like our regular spot where we usually eat the American?
No, I don't think she's ever gone on any of our team bonding.
But she don't do where you come office. We never come out because, like I said, when we were 13 in January, we could come out. We will come out. We won't order Uber. Now we're 18.
But so nothing happened this month.
Okay, no, we are right. We're 20.
We're 20 now.
Yeah, that's like the 20.
But wait. So nothing happened this month.
Nobody this month.
Me.
But we don't chop pizza a couple of times.
I've not eaten pizza at all. They've eaten pizza twice in the office. I've not eaten one.
Now you always want to do remote. I'll come Monday to Wednesday. Remote. So
that's his birthday.
June.
I thought it was this month.
So Mr. We're going to what's today? Today's what?
No, that's the problem.
23rd. 23rd. We should be going out on Friday now.
We should. But we already ordered in. Like I bought for my princess last week and I bought for Eunice the other
today,
week.
Uncle.
Today now work day.
Okay, no, just for me. I didn't eat pizza last week.
But you had Chicken Republic.
I didn't pizza last week too, Mr. Okay.
You had Chicken Republic. So let's focus on other things. What did you do this weekend?
This weekend, I was out with the.
Oh yeah, you had an event. You had an event.
The entertainment industry in Nigeria
for Spotify.
Yeah, so
I'm coming for number one. And me, I won't need your help.
What does that mean? They subbed me.
I didn't say anything.
They subbed me.
Bro, I didn't
But
say
yeah, I was
anything.
out. I got a special invite to Spotify launched. I don't know if I should be giving them free PR.
Did you
This
get
is
a
not-
special invite?
I did get a special
Give
invite.
Spotify a free invite because I have a free PR because I did post for their place.
I got-
and I need to be number one.
I got 2 invites actually. One with the podcast, and then I got one sent to me
Oh,
too.
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was
from who? From Spotify or for AMVC? Yeah, where
from
is it?
Spotify themselves. I mean,
okay,
do you want me to pull it out?
No, you
Don't
don't.
worry.
No,
No,
I feel like I need to pull it out.
But you are out late.
I don't like the doubt.
You are out late. When
No,
you-
so actually the event was supposed to start at 7, but
you know, like,
you know where we are now. So yeah, but it was really interesting. I got to meet like people that I've always like
Wanted to meet.
wanted to meet. Yeah, it was a very, very interesting. What else? I went to church on Sunday. It was really interesting to look at it.
The way Isaac said he
This
went
is-
to
this
church
is
is
it.
like he
This
has
is
not
my
been
invite.
going to church.
yeah.
No. So I'm used to going to church.
So you can get 2 churches.
I mean-
Papa and pastor.
Yes, I go to my dad's
Okay.
church. So I rarely go to other people's churches. Yeah.
So he was in. That's why he was in his mainland base. This
Oh.
weekend.
Yes, I just went to. I won't give the church free PR.
No, I'm not doing that, please.
Yeah, but it was interesting.
Plug Jesus, but don't.
Yeah.
No.
I went to church. Go to
Lord
church.
Jesus.
That's all I'll say.
All right.
Mr. Adiko, how about you?
It was chill. No, the last 2 weekends now, I'm taking the same.
You didn't walk.
Just chilling. At
You made me
home.
walk this weekend. That's true. Apart
Yeah.
from even without my phone,
Sleepless nights.
I could not sleep. I was seeing his face because he gave me work to do.
Do you always have chilled weekend?
Oh.
Like always,
Yeah, the last
or
2
it's
weekends
always
have been very chill, though.
with your
Family.
family.
Right.
And it's
Oh.
will get reason, you know. Once the reason drop now. I'm out of
Your
But
wife is
yesterday I did
fat now.
Yes, I did reason to book my flight. I don't tell madam, see, I'm traveling
Once-
in 1 month. So let's all listen that you're enjoying now. Let's enjoy
Wait,
it.
follow you.
can we go together?
We may go to I'm going to Abuja first, then Port Harcourt.
How long have you seen in Abuja?
2
What
days.
lessons
You
you
know,
now?
And also,
Is
I'll be
Abuja
the king of
about?
Japa.
Is this about our people there?
yeah, we'll stop at the office.
I guess
in
we
Abuja,
meet the
but
person in
we're
Abuja.
going to- Oh yeah.
Is she taking?
Yeah, so it was chill. I was home. So like NEPA has just been misbehaving. I mean, we talked about that. Oh, well, I'm so used to that NEPA, right? But like, yeah, we're not in your
Can't
part
relate.
time. You can't relate, right? But it's been terrible. And
You're proud.
my baby does not love heat. Like she's like her father. She can't like. So I was home chilled. Just watch some sports. It was sad. I mean, I'm happy because this morning the Lakers they swept LeBron, but you know, so like the Warriors had lost. All my teams are misbehaving. Chelsea lost. Everybody.
But yeah, that's true. You guys lost.
Yeah.
You guys got over.
Oh, yeah, but it's just chill.
You got over the city. I couldn't be here to watch.
Yeah, brother.
No.
So it was just chilled. It was just chill. Just looking forward to. Again, I mean, I did a lot of reflecting. I've got a big thing coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm trying to organize 1 or 2 things. So like, right now I'm just chilling. This is like my own vacation. Like these weekends are like my own vacation because last December we would go vacation. Now laptop.
Even when you're
Yeah.
out with your guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Adipo, you need to chill. You and Mr. Tosin. I'll personally organize one and I'll see your laptops. Mr. Tosin, I will see the glasses. I'll see those 2 things.
Yeah, but yeah.
Actually, you guys really need to. Honestly.
Yeah, you guys need to relax.
So
Like-
But like, is there ever a downtime? Not like a downtime. Is there
in our
business
my
here.
brother, I used to hope nothing.
so there's no, like, let's say 2 months where nobody trying to jump
The only thing is that we now have one new guy in the office now. I suspect she'll start doing things like everybody must go and leave. She's good to see this.
Before she came, it wasn't.
So we have been talking about it, but I'm sure she's going to force us to start going on.
I don't
leave and
I
all
need
that.
leave. I don't
Like
think
5
so.
days leave. What do I want to do?
I go travel if I
You
still
rest
leave now.
by fire by force.
I sleep.
If I still
7
leave, I
hours,
go
8
travel.
hours. That's not fine.
I guess some
Yeah.
kind of places where I won't visit.
What did we talk about today?
Yeah, so okay.
I
Victoria,
wanted to ask this Spotify. Is it in relation to the award that happened over the weekend?
Oh no. But it was the same night though. It was the same night.
Shout out to my baby girl, Nora. Like,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
you're going to see this and you know I'm super proud, man. I'm super proud.
Okay, I
It's-
think I'm in the dark here. Who is Nora?
She won the best documentary award, and I've known her. Such a young, beautiful lady. She's doing awesome. Self-taught. We met in my cycling club, and she's been doing great. And Nikki, I don't know if Nikki was in any award. Nikki is one of those low-key people, sha. But yeah, Nora she won that award.
Oh,
So I
shout
saw
out
it.
to
I
you.
saw it. I'm sure she waited for me to text her, but no, I was saying I will wait for podcast to plug in.
I'll send the video to
So
her.
that's the only
Hope
thing I
she
know.
will pay.
No, she doesn't. Well, I can plug her. She has a studio. I can't remember. She will kill me if I don't remember. You know, see Rexel Studios or something like that. She's doing great work. She's doing great work with Lota and Nike. I'm super proud.
Okay, congratulations, Nora.
Congratulations all winners.
To all the winners,
Let me
right?
tell you, the only two people that I'm proud of, Toby Bakri and Osasi Godaro. Osas, you have my heart.
It's funny. I don't even know all these Nollywood.
Are you serious?
I don't. So like when I try to
Same here, I don't
unwind,
even
I
know
want to
their
unwind
names.
with comedies and stuff. So,
No, but the truth is that Nollywood has
football or sports. Or
the growth is very clear now.
Yeah,
it is, oh.
no,
It's very, very clear.
Although-
now.
we can't even deny
But
that.
let's not talk about. Let's not go to the.
It's
Let's not
getting
go to-
clearer at the same time. There are some things that you cannot even understand.
Exactly. So like,
What do you mean, like storytelling?
oh, I love this moment I saw that was trending. Bimbo, she took her award to her dad.
Yeah, I saw it.
She's always her dad.
Oh,
She's
awesome.
always
I
been
saw it.
like putting
So
her dad out there and all
Yeah,
that.
I remember when
That's
she
really
pranked him that
sweet.
she was almost pregnant.
Yeah,
I love her. Her content is.
Eagles doing things. Yeah,
Oh, she's see babe.
yeah, she went to you.
I love her
Really?
content. She's real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's all I'll say because the content really they say is king. Like it's really lovely. I'm also maybe because I'm also close to my mom. Like it's really lovely for you to remain close to your roots. Like
Yeah,
the people that really sacrifice. You know, sometimes children are just entitled to that. It's their work.
Is that
They were
what-
supposed
yeah,
to.
yeah,
It was cool. It was cool to see that.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and some people would use fame to cover up. Like you don't know how it is,
Yeah,
but
I
this
don't have-
particular
yeah,
person was able to
yeah,
still
yeah,
keep
yeah,
connections and
yeah.
all.
And she's doing well. That car she
Are you
did
still close
drive.
to your mom?
His mom lives with him.
My mom did my house.
Ah, wow.
I get baby now. My mom still they
Wow.
do. My mom they do.
Nanny?
What's it called? No. What do you mean? That's no. It's not like it's not an insult, but like not the English. They call umugo.
Okay.
She dey take care of her grandchildren.
How many?
And that grandchild dey come. So she's
That
on
means
3 years.
very much
She's on
around.
3 year kidney. And she will come sign
Hope you
and
are
go.
paying now.
Then she can go do
You sign
holiday.
out- you sign
She-
retainer.
she-
You sound retainer.
She can go do holiday. And yeah, the reason now. She know they really listen to our podcast. So
You should
if
listen
you
to
know,
this
if you know, say I
one.
was, she know they really
Mommy,
remind
well
me.
done.
You said, but yeah, it's good. I mean, she's enjoying. And that's why probably why it's emotional because young people. I mean, I've been working now for 10 plus years. Like, she's not even yet enjoying the fruits of her labor, but like almost right. Yes, what are we talking about today? I'm the guest today, right?
Yeah,
I'm the
you're-
focus.
yes,
I know
you're
you guys
the
have.
focus.
And I'm the host.
We're coming for you.
I'm the host today.
Today is good to be.
Yeah.
Before I begin to, my energy is. I'm just. You guys don't. I'm just saving my energy for what I know is coming, right?
So yeah, guys. You know, like I said, these days as a young Nigerian now, when you finish uni, you have. It's as if you have 2 options, but just 2 things looking at you. Either you jackpot. No, 3 things actually now. Either you jackpot or you get a job,
Mhm.
which these days is you don't
It's a
the
real struggle.
yeah you don't the serious struggle, or then you have to find something doing. So today we're talking entrepreneurship and jackpot.
Yeah.
So we have he's our case study today. You know, we are doing project now. So yeah, Mr. Aliko is our case study today.
My
He's
art
like the
projects, I have
best
to-
person to even talk about this. The king of Japa.
Yeah, the king of jackpot. Yeah. So
I shouldn't I get tissue.
that
sha.
has, I think, 3 businesses.
yeah, three. You don't just
Are
say
we correct?
3 successful business.
So,
Why are you
yeah,
writing?
my bad, my bad.
Yes,
Why
dude.
you like-
Yeah, in my
My
mind, I was
bad.
like, oh, I'll buy this one's pop up pizza at this rate. But cool
My
story.
bad.
3 very successful in short.
Very, very.
After Elon Musk. After Elon Musk.
Abba.
If you don't
Hey.
know the king of Japa, you
I
don't
was,
know
with my,
anybody.
I was with my guys over the weekend, and one saw me. I was driving to the house. He was going to his own flat. Too. He came back. He opened the gate. He said, "Welcome, King of Japa." I said, "Look here, right?"
Wow.
He didn't worry me. We're supposed to go and chill. And see that. So maybe that's why I've been chill. So after church, I had to go back home because of that. Madam, I told her, "Send the president has come." The weather was to go and chill at Bungalow. He was flying back to Abuja. But yeah,
So what's the? I mean, I already know. I wrote that in over the weekend. So like,
yeah.
I did a
I'm sort of putting my story together.
I profiled
Profile.
Wow.
I profiled Mr. Depo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Give us a expo here today. Hope you're ready to give us expo.
I'll try.
This is kind of getting emotional now.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know, are
mood
you
is
feeling
dropping.
it?
The mood is dropping.
Let's go, guys.
What's your story? Where do we start from? Do we start from his life story?
Yeah, I think we should start from the background.
Oh yeah,
then
yeah. So
bring us to the future, to the
what's
present.
what's your story?
Have you ever thought of it like when you were young that okay, you would do, or
Yeah.
or have you ever planned on jackpotting when you were young? Let's even start from talk less of you going into the business to help other people.
Oh, certainly. Growing up is funny and it's still close to heart. My number one country, as far as I can remember, is Germany. And it's funny because there was a season when Germany used to dominate sports, particularly football. Gerard Muller and Miroslav Klose. So I remember that 2002 World Cup that they lost to Brazil, where I feel they cheated them and all that. But I mean, so then growing up to the car Mercedes Benz, so like knowing about Germany was the first thing. That's how, as a young child, I really always loved the idea of maybe the excellence that they was always attributed to Germany. And so I really always wanted to do that. Now, because Japa is broad, my own story for Japa was never to those
Go there.
Japa. That's at my when I was much younger, young boy into my teens. I just loved, I wanted to visit, hearing about Schengen, all those things. It was cool. Never really even keen on Canada, but Canada wasn't anything then. 10, 15 years ago, Canada was still just up and coming, right? So Germany was number one on my mind. Was it Norway? There's one country that I heard of growing up that used to dash their citizens money. There were so many nice things that I heard. I think I liked Switzerland because they just had a rich history, even though people don't really like them. Switzerland is like that kind of brother. Like if you have 12 siblings, that last brother that is just badly behaved. So growing up, so history, these are social studies, right? Yeah. So growing up. But then, of course, there's been different iterations over the last 30 years now. The last time I thought of Japa was a couple of years ago, and I really thought, okay, I need to go do a master's abroad because if I'm going to be useful to Nigeria, maybe I go. But now the SPPG changed that because I even applied. I've never finished the application because I was going to go
for
to
a master's.
I was going to go to York for I think public policy or something. But then I got in touch with the fixed politics. The school they have the School of Policy, Politics and Governance. And when I started hearing about it, I started seeing people talk about how they had done masters in America and UK, and the SPPG was a lot more robust than what they had. And somebody then said that we're better to go learn about public leadership than from your own people here who are in the system. And of course, a lot of our lecturers are professors in South Africa, US, UK. So it only made sense. Now, I'm not the kind of person also, and I think I learned that from my working in the UK and Canada, that these guys are not looking at your CV. So like today I see a lot of our politicians, if I want to go into politics, like everybody wants to lavish their CV. But CV, those our current governor went to Harvard Business School, so let's just leave it there. Yeah, let's just leave it there. I remember because when he won the election, they took him for 3 months. Even your Speaker of House of Rep.
Yeah, I remember that one. He even went for something
right
recently.
Now, he's in the news for sharing $10,000. So like going to school will not make you. And they say where there's smoke, there's some fire. Somehow they say that thing. So even if it proves not to be true, like we know what happens, we hear the stories, and so that's why I picked the SPPG. So the whole matter to Japa sort of changed. And of course, as a married man, now you have conversations with your wife, and you're like, so all your family is here. What is important to you? And then maybe because of my faith, is that even if I want to go Japa, the reality then was, okay, this is what God wants you to do. And that's really just came. So SPPG now, 3.5 months, I'm done. So second postgrad.
Okay.
Wow. Interesting.
But like, did you, growing up, did you have that, was there like a direction you were trying to go to? Like, did you, when after uni, maybe I'll probably look for this kind of job?
Yeah, the regular kind of young Nigerian life.
So my mom used to tell me that when I was much younger, that I used to say I wanted to be a professor, I wanted to teach. So it's not showing that I'm in education now, even though I study computer science, electronics. When they would always ask us, I think it was every term, JS1, JS2, JS, they would say, come out, tell us about you, what you want to be in the future. Yeah. I know that at some point it was footballer and medical doctor. I mean, because I loved football growing up, and that was like my go-to. Then it became engineer and footballer. I remember there was a French guy that they said did that. Then eventually, I when the reality that football was not going to football was not going to work. I started looking at engineering. But as I got into my teens into university, I had begun to say repeatedly that I did not want to work for anybody. And I don't know if my entrepreneurship started, if it's in the blood.
Had you had any experience at that time?
In running any business?
Yeah. No. In working for someone, like what made you say, "Oh, I don't want to work for anyone"?
Honestly, I can't point it, and that's the honest truth. I'm not going to lie to anybody and just make it seem like I have one big story.
Mm-hmm.
What I can tell you is my story. My father used to work in Nitel and started doing telecoms. Started setting up intercoms and stuff, multi-choice when it just came and all those things in government houses, in companies, in hotels. So he was doing that well with my mom. Of course, when things went south, I only met my mom as an entrepreneur because she was a caterer. She was only going to cook for us. So that she was cooking for people for us to be able to eat. So, of course, so in my bloodline, I knew my father was an entrepreneur. So even though it wasn't really in my life at the time, I knew that. So going through secondary into university, the only work that my mom ever did that I saw that paid for stuff was catering, which is entrepreneurship. So maybe that's how it rubbed off, because like I always say to people, a lot of my values I got from her, you know, the way she values money, how she treats stuff. So I got a lot of the great things that I have today, I got from her. And of course, I think also in life, as I grew older, a lot of people that I lived with also were entrepreneurs. So I think it just used to rub off on me. And then lastly, and probably the most important thing is the faith in that I understood entrepreneurship. Okay, yes, another thing that probably happened was part of that story. I think in 2012 or 2013, under the former president Jonathan Goodluck, Ebele, he did this UN thing where the government was giving people 10 million naira to go set up businesses. You could ask for 1 to 10 million. And at the time, I had a mentor who was, well, he's still my father now, but like at the time I just met him doing this recycling thing. So he was in the furniture business before. He used to cut wood and stuff. So at the time when I was finishing university at second, third year, he had started recycling. So I started learning. We used to call it waste to wealth. We've done pure water nylons. So I still consult for that. And that was also another entrepreneurship touch. I was 7.
What year was this?
This was 2012. Yeah, from 2012. That's called 2012. So every holiday from second, third year, I'll be in his house sometimes just learning. Even when I was 7, I served in a school. I was teaching. I'll finish from school and still go to the factory because it wasn't far, in Lagos here. And so that was also some entrepreneur. So I did the UN thing. I got through the first stage. So those trainings were also very robust. They were right. I was it was a geopolitical thing. So I was in Ibadan, a lovely professor. So I was getting a lot of raw and practical entrepreneurship knowledge. And Daddy consulted for a lot of people, guided them on recycling, and a good number of them even got the grant. So it was just clear. By my third and fourth year, by my fourth year when I graduated, I'd registered my first business, which is about 10 years plus now.
Wow.
And I had proposed recycling to state governments and all. Some took the proposal, some tried to implement, and yeah. So it was sort of progressive. The people that were around me, my faith and my understanding of what entrepreneurship is, which is really for me, you find a problem, you have the skill, you solve it. Now, entrepreneurship has a lot of definitions today, but one of the things that got me into the immigration space, which is funny, even though I started more with education, but immigration is sort of the broad name for it, is that I wanted to go school abroad directly after my first degree. And I thought I was going to get sponsored by somebody, and it didn't work. So that sort of was part of the foundational story of how I wanted to go school abroad, which is Japa today, and that didn't work. So that sort of linked me through into this business. Of course, then I served people, and then I got I got employed by my last employer, and then I was fully exposed to it, and it was through edtech. So what I do today is more even edtech, which is what I studied, and education is how do we aggregate putting schools all over the world together where people can access them, and that's really how I got to
Okay, you explained all this and seems like it just happened.
Yeah.
smoothly.
Yeah.
Like I'm so interested in the
Where were the
ugly.
tough times?
Like
I mean, obviously, like
Only child of a single mom, that's a tough time.
Hmm.
The statistic is not good. And growing up in the church, my mom probably had a good number of 3, 4 friends in the same church, same parish, who were only parents of either 1 or 2 children.
wow.
And it wasn't easy. Not having a father present in your life, like present,
Father figure.
it's not easy. You miss those things because as a young boy or growing up into your teens, you see other people have that. You don't have that. You see them happy. At least you assume. Now I know better, but like
And
you
you want
assume that
it.
you want that. But then as I grew older, God just had favor. I just had favor. God just had mercy on me, and I was going to school, even though my mom wasn't rich. I was going to the very best schools here and there. I would get scholarships. I got scholarship to university. So one way or the other, God was faithful, even though I didn't have the best dresses because we would go to Lagos market or if you don't do Jabil, yeah, that's Yoruba, you don't understand. So like we that go
come on. I don't understand you, bro. Well,
okay.
Was
But you can't relate
Jabe?
yeah, exactly.
where there's open bill now.
Yeah,
Come on now,
yeah,
bro. Come on.
So so that's my mom made sure I had the best, and the best for her sometimes was just making sure I went to a good school or I was in people's homes who at the very least give me some stability. So a number of times, particularly when I found out some of these things later, but when she didn't really have anything, when the business wasn't even going well, because I mean, when you're a caterer, so I would be in those homes and I would not even know. So I was shielded. I was the family through some parts of my primary school for about 4 years of my secondary school. Then my first 2 years in university, I was always with different families.
Wow.
And that experience. So living with other people was funny. It was okay. It was experiential. You had terrible experiences with their children or with them. It wasn't always good. Particularly because emotion, sometimes you do something to somebody, you don't even know how the person, and so it wasn't always rosy.
How are you able to moving from how are you able to maintain the values that your mom placed in you?
Because one way or the other too, I was always around her still. She was still always in touch with me. I grew up I was born in Redeem, and the values from the children's church to teens church to the primary schools at the time and secondary school at the time, those values also were there. And of course, my mom was strict. I see a lot of single moms who sort of allow their children just do because of. Even parents do that. Like my mom didn't take all that. I disrespected the house girl one day. She beat the living daylight out of me. Like my mom used to beat, like you're naked, knock the door, and you won't know because you think she has forgotten about it, and whoop the living daylight out of you.
I can relate.
And then she would take me. This Magodo, right? We used to live in Magodo at the time. It's still like yesterday. Like she whooped me. My late uncle today was begging, was knocking at Utito. Then when I finished crying, she now took me and buy digestive biscuits. Like, so I probably chopped those beating like 2-3 times. Then there's the regular abara. 40. So I think the summary is that she didn't just allow me to go and mess up. The day my mommy saw me go into a house where there were silly boys and there was a babe, and she wasn't sure what I was doing, so she was seeing me from top. She beat me that day.
She didn't even know what you did. She didn't know whether you.
She didn't even want to know. And you know when you're about to lie, you're stuttering because I couldn't really say what really went on, what I had seen or what I had heard. She whooped me that day. So those things are.
Yeah, it will stay.
Okay, I want to ask this for some maybe upcoming entrepreneurs that are looking at this. Yeah, you just explained your challenges, and trust me, the way you said it seems easy. You wanted the father figure, and those they are not as easy as you said it.
Yeah.
But I want you to like pinpoint how were you able to move from, should I call it a realm? Because I know I don't even know what's going. I know there was a phase in your life where you had to deal with those things.
Yeah.
Some people they face maybe depression or the likes. How are you able to bring something beautiful out of that?
It's funny, and I probably can. First of all, again, it's not a religious podcast, and anybody knows me. I'm never trying to be religious, but the church did a lot in just being there.
Okay.
Because my mom didn't remarry, so if she wasn't cooking and with her catering business, she was in the church. So a lot of people that were around you were the church, so you had some level of balance. But what I would tell you is, trust me, I used to cry.
Hmm.
I used to
that's the
cry
part I want people to
when I
hear.
lived in people's homes. I used to cry when I was in CLC Shagamu. There's one teacher, I don't even know where she is now. She used to be our Igbo and I think Yoruba teacher or something. She was close to my mom, Mr. Pasheda, who is now the principal. We were close. I used to cry, and people need me to understand why I used to cry, because sometimes, and at my age, people think I'm 40, 50 because I've seen so much and I know so much. But a lot of times when I used to cry, it wasn't really much of anything. Just sometimes just reflecting on the pain that you're going through. Either being maltreated when you're in somebody's house where you have cried. When I was in school, just seeing your friends talk to you anyhow, and they probably just know that you don't have, that kind of thing. So you would just reflect on that and just begin to cry. Or sometimes I'll be missing my father, which was also a common thing because every other person had their father, would talk about their father, and you just be crying uncontrollably. So when I was Shagamu sometimes, boarding house, a lot of times they'll call my mom and I want to just come home. I don't want to, So there were a lot of those things, but having a good support system would help you go through those mental, what should be depression at a young age. So the church, I honestly cannot say any other thing than not being a church boy who I love God and I always read my Bible. I love the stories. Those things kept me. And then I think over time, I found things that made me happy. So it's funny, right? Naruto, yes, an anime. When I was growing up, I found Naruto. And if you really watch Naruto and you know my story, so many similarities. The only difference is that his parents died, but that he used to cry a lot because of how his situation was relatable. And then the passion to just wanted to help people and just always have a great spirit. So things like that helped me. Movies, sports, those things were my outlets. I love my books. Being the best math student was, so being the best at something will drive you as well. Because come on, all the girls used to come first and like, all of you don't know math. There was a day we challenged them. Said, yeah, all of you come. I think we're in SS2. He said, well, let's know who's the best in math. We whooped them, me and Beard, I can't forget, we whooped them. Because we always the one that every time, first to fifth or sixth, girls. So okay, let's bring the hardest skinny. Let's do math. So those are the experiences that I had. And so when it comes to the realm, I think I was a bit depressed, if I remember well, through my university days when I was going through, I had a scholarship, but I didn't have the proper guidance, which is also probably some of the reasons why I'm good at what I do. I saw a lot of experiences. The schools, the orientation systems, they weren't good enough for somebody like me to sort of guide me through.
Yeah.
So my outlet would just be go to school, talk to my mom, watch movies, and just rinse, repeat. But I knew how I felt in my heart. And that also sort of affected me. So when I started talking, and I think the exposure with Kings Hill, I had a mentor at the time, Pastor G. He used to do academic excellence and leadership in secondary schools, companies. So he was friends with my mom and he just took an interest in me. So he would just pass by Ibadan. And then before I knew it, we started going to places together. Those things get you out of your shell.
Yeah.
Sharing your stories for people. At that time, I started developing the first school management solution for my university. So those things get you out of your shell. So the more you do positive, I think the more positivity comes to you, the happier you can be. And funny stories, Pastor G may not know so many of those stories even till today, but those exposures of him just taking me to those places helped me one way or the other to be able to just, my light should just shine, just come out of your shell of what is really in your heart. You're outgoing. He would hype you up, he would pump you up, he would talk about my success, even though he didn't even know some of my pain. But that was more than enough for me, and so that just helped. So everything is accumulative. And so by the time I started my business 7 years ago, when I said, okay, I'm resigning and I'm going to start my business, all my experiences for, at the time, 23 years, they had sort of, should we say metamorphose? I don't know the English right now. There's a lot of big English in my head. But
all of them,
they had come together, well mixed, like we're well mixed.
Intertwined.
And so when I started the business, it was great. Now, I cannot tell you also that I have a disciple, I have a guide today. And in my faith, Christ is not associated with poor. We're associated with excellence. So when I met him about 8-9 years ago, and I said, I feel like God had brought him into my life for me to learn, I just submitted myself. So all the things that in your 20s that boys are like, you should be able to do this, you should be able to do this, spend money, do this. I wasn't doing that. I was going to learn from somebody who at the time was already CEO of one of the biggest companies in Nigeria, but it was a Christian. So I was learning it that way. So by the time I started my business 7 years ago, it was easy. I was just taking it step by step. Paid my first 20,000 naira salary, did that constantly 30,000, and grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And so those experiences sort of help you to now where people now think, oh, you have done something. And yes, we have done something, but there's still so much
More to do.
more to do.
Yeah.
And
So you talked about building a system management software for your uni.
yeah,
So why didn't you follow that
Yeah.
tech part?
I didn't like to sit down in one place. I love to talk. I love to teach. I love to help people. I didn't love to sit in one place. So coding was boring. I was excelling because coding zeros and ones, and I was very good at math.
Coders will come for you.
Oh yeah, it's boring. It's their choice now. Everybody has their own. Everybody has their own preference and their choice.
I'd
It
rather
was
be
boring.
I can be bored and still have so.
No, yeah, exactly. And so some of my friends can do it. So one of my closest friends, my brother Damlola, he does so much. So coding is even broad now. Then it was even a bit rigid. Now you can just do design and product and you can just manage stuff. Damlola sits in front of a system all day, but he's making good money. I couldn't do that. I want to go from place to place and then money can come. So I was doing that with my brother at the time. I think he's now in South Africa, Maiwa. And the school is owned by an elderly person. At the time, he didn't really buy into that because at that time, maybe I think Covenant and Babcock were already using some sort of school management solution, maybe Moodle. I can't remember at the time.
You have Moodle and Portal.
Moodle, yeah. So, I mean, you are much younger now, but like, yeah, even then it was there. And it's open source. So we were trying to develop and implement that and get people to do more laptops and stuff. But he wasn't really buying the idea. So even when his son was diagnosed, they got me to see him. He wasn't really buying into it. So when I developed that, there wasn't any push to sort of, so they bring it to market. And so that was how that. So it was clear that wasn't what God wanted me to do. So I left that, and I used to still sell it. I used to sell school management solutions. I did that from my like 400 level NYSC into other, maybe, I think I did that even up until my last employment, so up until 7 years ago. So I did that for about 5 years. But even the general Nigerian market, and I meet a lot of all these tech startup guys and the guys that do tech, a lot of them don't know that I'm their big brother in this thing. But when you're humble, I meet a lot of them and I ask them, we still haven't gotten it yet. Until you have a generation that appreciates tech, and I think we are maybe 5 to 10 years away from that, where the parents are also forcing the school and the teachers are much younger and all that, then we would appreciate it. Then also it's somewhat overpriced. And the Indian ones that are a bit cheaper, people don't want to do that because you're giving them so much money. So the system, we're still getting there. And it's almost like, I think now 5-6 years ago when there were all these agri-tech startups. And I told people, I said, this thing's not going to work. A lot of my friends lost millions. And people will say, oh, today, are you because you used to see revelations that you're a child of God and all? It wasn't that. You must be able to understand your system. Well, I'm excelling in my system today because I understand the system. The first thing is that you cannot predict your government policy. You can't predict your exports. You can't predict farming. The farmers, what they need, their wealth, the seeds they need. And then more importantly, these tech startup guys, these entrepreneurs, they just want to make money, some of them. That's why a lot of them today, when they don't see seed funding, you see them change their cars, they use the latest MacBook and all that. So I'm not surprised that most of them fail. It's much more than what do all of them do? Oh, I have a master's in this. I went to the US. I went to Silicon Valley. Okay, I didn't go to Silicon Valley and I'm doing well. And I'm rejecting. Like, I'm successful today is good. But if you know in the office, we are rejecting more work because of sort of the integrity. Oh God, Wiki. The integrity. I love my guy. Because of sort of the integrity of the integrity of wanting to keep stuff done the right way, right? I mean, since yesterday I've been trying to deal with the case with this US and all that, because sometimes you're a middleman, you're trying to help people, somebody messes up, you're trying to just make it so everything. You don't want anything fraudulent. When people hear your business name or hear you want them to let them even say you're a busy person, you don't pick your call. Because again, I wonder, like, I'm the MD. How many calls can I pick?
Mm.
As we're on this podcast, my phone is ringing.
Like,
I'm looking at my personal life. So people want you to just sit on the phone and be talking. I'm like, no. You want me to work for you? Give me the job. We'll get the job done for you. But people want you to call all the time.
All the time.
So if that's what you complain about, fine. I will get the job done, but you want to be hearing my voice. I know I'm a nice person to talk to. But not that you will now hear Ilewe MD part of POF fraud. Documentation fraud. And people can't understand that. So young entrepreneurs don't want to learn. They don't want to understand that when our parents say go and work for people, don't think about the money. There's so much in service that you get that today I'm saying, like you're saying, it seems easy to hear, but there was growing pains of, I had a girlfriend, she was working in the bank. Was it bank before? My ex-girlfriend. I was working in a factory and I didn't have a salary. I was loving, I was serving. Even though I had access to money, trust me, yes, because he was taking care of me. But I never asked him that, please, sir, give me a salary. She didn't understand that.
Yeah.
She went to her master, she came back. She wasn't able to understand those things. Now I'm grateful and she's happy she's married, but I'm saying that to say that I'm happier because now I am, yes, Isaac said I'm the king of Japa, but I am actually one of the best. I wouldn't have been there if I did not have those experiences of service.
Humble about it.
But that's the truth. Like, serving people are not thinking of money. Serving people are just saying that so Tosin is here with us. If Tosin has this skill, how can Tosin teach me? What can I learn from Tosin? Our generation doesn't want to do that. Whether it's the millennial or the Gen Z, everybody just wants me.
Money.
Pastor G used to say that thing. He said we are an Indomie arrogant Range Rover generation. We want it fast, 3 minutes. We're arrogant. We don't want to be spoken to. And we just want to have the best cars.
I want to skip the process.
Yeah.
Today, you guys know what I have. Today, I'm okay. And I think we were just about it going. I said, finally, I was telling Victor Anebo now.
I said how that thing. So, in the right time,
I told Victor, I said, Victor, man, in 1 year, I want to be a millionaire. I've registered my business. I want to take care of my mom. I want her out of here. And in 10 years, I want to be a multi-millionaire. This is 10 years. I can do everything I said to Victor. And Victor is married and is doing well. So, I said that even though today, in hindsight, I was silly and because money should not be your focus.
Let us send our account number after this.
No, man. All this one is not.
So, I told Victor that, so I wanted to be able to do anything. And although then I was looking for the money now, but going through the process that I've gone through over the last 10 years only helped me such that you can say, you can never be broke. Not that money is in your account, but I have set myself up today to know that I know what to do to make money if I needed money. Of course, my faith will say the Lord will supply all your needs according to his riches and glory, but it's a balance. And our generation does not want that balance.
Well, I think right now we should talk about the fruits. We've spoken about the roots, the pain, everything. So we know. I want you to say it yourself.
No, I mean your businesses.
Yes,
3
sources.
Yeah, your 3 very successful businesses.
You guys need to stop. I don't know what you're referring to. What do we? The truth is, do we attribute success to? Do we attribute success to money or to stability?
We're talking about money.
No, but actually, what do you attribute success to?
Peace of mind. That's the truth.
Well, you can have peace of mind.
I saw something in my status and I want to ask you that.
I mean, you can actually have peace of mind and Sakwa is holding you.
You can't.
I get peace of mind now, what?
How will you have peace of mind on your own?
Isaac, you're not broke.
But
so don't.
I saw something and let me ask you this. I saw that success is not a success if you don't have a legacy or something. So do you plan on... No, you know what? Let's just keep this question first. Talk about the business. I would ask this question later.
So I registered my first business, Serenity Consulting Limited, 2013. That's consulting. I go to that one when sometimes when you need money to buy a car or money to buy AC. But my day-to-day bread and butter is Ilewe education.
Ilewe education.
I send people abroad with that. And then we have the new baby, My Japa Limited, which we do for Canada immigration. I have the license. I'm an agent to the commission.
Yes, sir.
And then visiting visas and stuff. So we can do any of those things. But now, and so we're talking about, so now we have a team, and we're about 19, 20 people. I can't even count right now. God helping me. But the idea, and if I want to answer your legacy question, the reality is, somebody said to me yesterday, one of the new people that does join the team said, in our office, if somebody was, she actually used somebody's name, but let me use Isaac's name. That's not the name she used. Said, if Isaac wants to leave the office now, that Isaac will likely come and meet me and say, I got this offer. What do you think I should do? And she said, where I'm coming from, who could tell? Is that when you don't resign, you could tell her, Oga, I they move. And I said, yes. She said she found it, and the truth is, I found it refreshing because I'm trying to run, and I always say first, a God-centered business. But you want people to be family. We still know we make the main thing, which is to do work, but to have relationships, because we will not always be together. Victoria can get married end of this year and she's in Canada. You may go do your PhD in Austria or Germany and will be hearing Professor Isaac. Yes.
Professor Isaac.
So the reality is that we will do the 9 to 5 and we'll do our work and we'll do it as best as we can. But we should also have a relationship.
Yeah.
That's the big deal if somebody wants to go.
Yeah,
now, the difference is that people don't meet bosses like me, where, so for instance, now, somebody's going to school, they've known for a while. Other bosses,
they'll
be like, okay. They would have told her, so please, since you are going now, we have to plan. So maybe you should resign by the end of April.
Yeah. Or they cut salary or something.
That's not fair.
They do that.
I can't do that. Why should I do that?
I have a friend who was moving and he couldn't tell his boss till...
Yes. Most of my customers cannot bring in certain documents from their boss directly. That should be like, your boss is rich. He should be able to just write a letter of introduction or reference. I can't tell my girl.
Wow.
Bankers, most of my bank friends. So I didn't want any of that. And the truth of the matter is that, again, when you say it was easy, those are the things that I saw in other organizations that I served with or I worked for, where everybody used to japa. In fact, I know one big one today, and we used to talk about it because the day your university. Most of the people I know for them, maybe now only 3 or 4 of them remain. When I don't do that,
I know.
They lose people regularly, and a tech company, people does the jar.
But that one is
people will even take their data, go to another person that has money, set up that same business, and kick them out of where they are. It's because you were focused on money. Whereas when the world sees that person, because he's a popular person, they will think he's successful. The wealth of a man, and if you want to define success, is in the people that you have. I mean, that may be scripture, but that's the fact. Is that, how does Isaac feel? What does Isaac think about me? Who are the people that are around you when you have a need? If you call Victoria at 2 a.m. and you want to share something that you know only her can help you, will she pick your call or will she say, who's this? This man is calling me again. He's a workaholic. So those are the things that people do not understand. People attribute these things to zeros and ones. Money will come and go. Money is visible.
That's true. Let me say something. I sent a typical message on a Sunday and I apologized. It was like, LOL. I was like, wow, it's not peace.
Why are you apologizing?
Mr. He's very accessible.
Fire me about that. Not like fire.
Yeah, like shouting.
Like,
what is the big deal? Like, what is the big deal? Life is too short. And so the peace of mind you were talking about, a lot of these wealthy people don't have peace of mind. And yes, we didn't even talk about Dangote's refinery yesterday. Dangote cannot sleep the sleep I sleep. Now, he may be a billionaire, and I may just be a small thousandaire.
I'm forgetting what he said. He said a couple minutes ago.
A child of God, you are not a liar.
He's him.
I didn't say the currency.
He's him. I didn't say
the currency. But I sleep. Somebody said to me, successful people, when they get home, like the reason why they work a lot, so they can't even switch off. They're just always working. I lie. If my wife, they follow me talk, that good morning after my quiet time, I don't sleep. If I don't reach house, carry my baby. If she never sleep, play, reach bath, reach bed. Except yesterday I was even trying to watch one new series, one FBI series. I didn't know they'd done a season, so I was trying to watch. I knew I was have slept too. I woke up this morning. I slept off there. I sleep like a baby. I have peace of mind. What makes you happy? What is your goal? It doesn't change the fact that I'm trying to help Nigeria and I'm involved in so many things and all that. But I don't have to be carrying so many things on my head. But people don't understand that. So Me, I'm not cut out for.
And I think that's because you already have people around you that you can rely
Yes.
on. I
And
think
so you're intentional about it. You're intentional about the people. And also, because I'm accessible, like you said, when I'm interviewing people even to join our team, they already know who we are. We will not begin to. Yesterday, the copper at the office. Gucci said, "Is there another PP?"
Yeah.
Because I had forgotten that she had reached out and she
Yeah.
was being redeployed to Lagos. So Ugochi was still here. Then she went to the other office and they asked her, what did you study? Somebody said, where she go to sit down?
When she came in, that was even what I
Person
thought.
say, some of us still wait for new laptop.
Ah.
So the guy was just laughing. But she was happy to work with us. Right there, and she was texting me. She was texting me the night to renegotiate her salary. After I said, don't worry. But those are the things that should make you you. Now, everything has a strength and a weakness, but if you have the right balance, I think you'll be fine. So,
yeah. So back to the main question:
which is
how did Leeway start?
during the BlackBerry era. I don't know whether I was in my
ping.
ping era. I had this BlackBerry. I think it was my NYSC year or before. I don't even remember now. So we'll put stuff on our status. So at that time, I didn't understand why companies abroad would call their names. So like I felt English is not my mother, it's not my language, it's not my culture.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we call all our companies by English? Like just say so like even Serenity Consulting, I did that because of the understanding of Serenity and I didn't know the Yoruba name for Serenity, right? But
Do you know it now?
And you're bashing me for not knowing Yoruba.
no, Serenity, I'm sure it does not have an interpretation in Yoruba.
What's the
right?
meaning
It does.
of
I won't just tell you.
Serenity really is just sorry?
Is it quietness?
Well, that's serene environment. Serenity in itself is admitting, for instance, that Nigeria is already bad and knowing that the only thing I can do is to make a difference. So that's why my motto is making a difference. Vision and progress, making a difference.
Making a difference.
Serenity in itself
What's making a difference in Yoruba?
Well, exactly. What's making a difference?
Difference. Wow.
So, what is it? Paiwada. So imagine I call my company Paiwada. So that was even the Serenity. So when I was telling my friends, I said, okay, so I'm going to go into education. I didn't know the full scope of it, but I wanted to call it. I mean, Alibaba. Like I'd seen so many companies.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I want to call my company an English name? And so I started telling my friends. So I started writing. I think I wrote Akowe, Alakowe, Ile-Eko, Ile-Iwe. So we voted. We were going back and forth. I can't even forget now. I have so many Maiwas in my life. Maiwa Kuti George. Like a lot of my secondary school and university friends. And Ile-Iwe was one that seemed the most. So I bought the domain. I had the domain for years. I was just renewing it every year. So when I was working in my last employment, by the time I knew that it was time to resign, I had pushed a couple of people in that office out. They were going one had gone for masters.
You were still working for someone when you
registered. Oh yes, yeah. I had we registered, like the website registered. I just never did the CAC until very recently because I didn't feel anybody was going to take it. I think I just didn't know. And of course, the CAC process in Nigeria was terrible before. Thank God for Buhari has actually done a lot of great things. And him and ease of doing business. I'm telling you, he's done a number of good things.
I mean, you're an entrepreneur, so you do that or no?
Yeah, exactly. CAC sometimes they take 2 years before. Oh yes.
How long does it take now?
I can get it in 2 weeks.
Oh,
are you serious?
Yes, I can get certain things in 2 weeks.
This is the first time I'm hearing of something
so
good.
Yeah, no, they've done a lot of great policies. I can't even lie. A lot of silly things that have set us back, but a lot of good things. And again, he can't do everything. He's old. A lot of people around him, a lot of them are good, a lot of them are terrible, Anyway, so when I knew it was time to leave that organization, and then I was home, I was asking my friend that, okay, I'm thinking of doing a website. I think I feel like this is what God is calling me to do. I was still trying to do EdTech at the time, sales management solutions, but I put that on. I figured that this canceling thing just came easy, and I was helping people. So at the time, the Edumat thing. So I was in Sean's house. Sean was a digital marketer at the time. Now he's a big boy in InterSwitch. Oh, now him, they talk the colleague. And so we were at home and I was like, this is what I want to do. Sean gave me that theme. Sean designed my first website. And that's free of charge. Yeah.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to my friends that have really
Sure.
helped me. I have told all of them, don't worry, you don't understand. I embarrass them regularly these days.
But I mean, was there like a capital or like were there investments or?
So
everything was
my
just-
last employer didn't pay my salary for a couple of weeks after even it was supposed
Weeks.
to, yeah. I can't remember the time, so I don't want to say months, but a couple of weeks. So they were supposed to remove money because I didn't give them much notice and all that, but they didn't pay. So I didn't have too much money, but I had some money to be able to run my first like Instagram ads and stuff. Then word of mouth, people had known me for my employment. So my first job took me to Abuja. First time I entered the plane, and it took me to Abuja for my birthday, 23rd, July 3rd to July 5th, and the man paid 150k then. That was my first job, and that's how I started managing myself. Didn't get my second job till December. Yeah,
July.
yeah. Entrepreneurship is not easy. Yeah, but I've been sowing seeds. Trust me.
So between July and December, what were you doing? But had you left your previous employment?
Yes, no. I resigned in like May.
So how were you surviving?
Can't you see that the hand of God is on you?
Hand of God. And then, of course, I had my mom. My mom and I have always been like this. So at that time, I was still living with my mom. So also, as a person of faith, I didn't see the need as a guy to leave the house before marriage because I felt I would just encourage nonsense. And I was trying to avoid doing too much nonsense. No. Too much nonsense. Don't make me seem like I'm a saint. I was trying to avoid too much nonsense that the world was putting out there. Oh, yeah, because I'm not going to be pretending now.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we did that and we registered it. We started processing all that.
And now we have a layaway.
So that's how layaway started.
The best.
Yeah, so I mean, and so I think these are third or fourth website. Damila did the last two. Bad boy. That website is. When Damila did that website, somebody called me. Said, "Sir, I've seen your website. I'm ready to do it. You're the one I'm going to do for my daughter. The website is too beautiful." You know, I didn't pay 1 naira.
Wow.
So when Damila's wife met me, I said, "You don't know. Some of my friends, you don't know. So there are a couple of friends that have done something in their life that they don't know. They will keep enjoying it. They keep reaping the rewards."
Yes, so I attended this program in church. It was for youth to promote entrepreneurship and all that. And they were talking about entrepreneurship. You can't be waiting after school. You can't just be waiting for someone to give you a job. Blah, blah, blah. And my sister actually stood up and asked that, okay, all this entrepreneurship topic you are talking about, are you guys ready to support? And everybody was quiet. So the support is actually very, 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 very important.
Now,
it's scarce.
People don't understand support. So I've shared two examples,
Yeah.
Sheon and Damila. That's support. There was the time I supported both of them. And I won't, now, I know that anybody knows if I do anything for you, I don't want the next person to know. But they helped me, like I said, website was the two things. Now, at that time, maybe Sheon would have collected maybe 70k. Maybe, I don't know how much. I think it was about time he was even charging. Damila, when he did his own, the value could have been maybe 500,000, right? The support they offered me was knowing that this is their friend. He has a skill. We believe in him. It will only take us a couple of hours of days to get this done. Let's do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't always have to give us money.
Money, yeah.
There's this myth in the world that everything revolves in money.
Money, yeah.
So I can even say I'm a billionaire today. Not because I have the money,
Yeah.
but because I know what I can do to
Yeah.
become a billionaire or to have rather the cash. And so that's the problem with our church. But again, we can't be saying that one now. We've been crying about it. They tried to do all these programs, but when we get there, so for instance now, the election has come and gone. In our space as believers, we should already have been making plans for how are people not going to be dying again? How are we going to put the right leaders? They won't do that now. They'll wait 3 years again and then begin to say, oh yeah, where are all the Christian party people? Let's come together. Then you see them on the group insulting themselves, calling themselves pastors and misbehaving. But please, let's leave all these fake people.
Yeah. So your Germany fantasy.
Now, and I'm telling them in the office to work on that. Now I want to be like this guy. I love what he does. Is it Tyre enough films?
Yeah.
I want to do that now. But I mean, in the education space, I love that he goes to places.
Travels.
If I say a sponsor, I want to go to these countries and see what they're doing in education. We call it comparative education. I think you and I talked about it a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Where you go see what people are doing, you figure out what they've done well, what can it translate to yours, or what part of what they do can really translate to what you do. So that's really my fantasy. Now, if I go to Germany, I want to go for seminars, see what the government is doing well in the EU, in the Schengen area, see what is doing well in trade, US scholarships. So like that's really what makes that's where I am now. That's what makes me happy. I don't even want to do the whole MD kini, and that's why we now have an organ in the office. I don't want to be doing all this MD. I want to talk to clients, help them process, go to places, see new sites. That's me. All those sitting there and be shouting on people and giving queries is not really what I love to do.
Well, I mean, that's not really what.
Yeah, that's not really you. I
Yeah.
don't like that. So let Auntie Mona.
Okay, I think that should be that for Iliwe. Now, I'm sure most of our viewers want to know. Like, let's go to Japa, my Japa Limited. You know, some people will actually be confused. Iliwe, my Japa, Iliwe, my Japa. So can you like
Yeah,
bring
so
some
again,
clarity on
and
that?
I've said Damlola like 5 times today, but Damlola and I were having so
Damilola, thank you so much.
don't worry, I'm going to bring him to the office very soon. Damlola and I were having what was like a year-end review where we just chatted up, and it was over the phone. I can't forget. I was lying down in the night where those just I was like, Dippo. So what's your plan for how did he say that? He was basically trying to tell me like, how do you want to consolidate yourself in the market? What do you want to do? And so I was trying to tell him that yes, so that different companies own multiple similar drinks in the market. And so we started talking. So it was not like, Dikpo, this whole Japa thing. That's how I came my Japa Limited. So I already knew that I was going to go a bit more into immigration. It was easy. I understood it. And so we just said that my Japa Limited. So after that, even though I then saw the name Japa Partners in my head, I gave that to the Instagram and all that. We had those conversations, Chimmy and I. And then we now say Japa Chronicles, which is how we are. So we're like, okay, what exactly is Africa sort of already understands what Japa is. It's immigration. It's moving from place to place, right? And that's really how that came up. So we said, would not be nice to have a podcast. Like we've talked about an app. So we're like, okay, let's just focus more on a web app, not really just an app.
On phone, yeah.
So looked at ticketing companies. Can we possibly also do so? Like we just wanted to be able to service people, and Serenity is sort of my vision in that any space that I'm in, I'm able to do it the best and make a difference. Where people not feeling like, oh, this person did this, he duped me, blah 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 blah. So yeah.
So my Japa Limited is like a baby.
Yeah, somewhat, but it would eventually sort of become the king because it's the business that has been since before our time. A government can say today, our new education policy, we want to invest $10 billion in education in Nigeria, so our students are not going abroad again. That would sort of stop a bit of what we do in Ilewe.
Oh yeah,
But
that's true.
trade and tourism
Sense, my guy,
is
sense.
never going to
It's
end.
forever.
Now, if I ever come out to be your governor or your president, I'm not saying I would do that, but trust me, between now and then, comparative education, if I think that in our parents' days, people used to talk about how, OAU was the best, white people used to come here. I want to return us to the glory days. And so, yeah.
Okay, so how do you maintain work-life balance as an entrepreneur? Like you being like it's kind of not easy for you to. It's like you're the middleman.
Yeah.
Then the calls and everything.
Yeah. So
That's true.
So one of the things that I do is I try not to work at all on Sunday. So I work on Saturday, but I try not to do any work on Sunday. Except maybe just I'm thinking something, I'll just write and drop
So you
on
work
groups.
on Saturdays.
So Saturdays I can work, but even the last 2 Saturdays I haven't really done too much work. Work-life balance. The truth of the matter is the life and the balance comes from my faith. Again, I am big on my faith. I do my quiet time in the morning, which is the most important thing. I do my Bible studies here and there, prayer meetings here and there. Family, I'm big on my family, so spend time as much as I can weekends with the family, my baby. My baby is actually their number.
Your baby.
Yeah,
Like,
babies. I have other
You know, some
babies.
people call baby their wife their baby. Which baby?
Okay, yeah, baby, right. She never really begin to enjoy that one now, and because you are starting, and so you have a child and you are pregnant again. So yeah, but I try to be at home and grounded, just to be present. Again, I learned that in the 10 years of serving different people, I saw a lot of homes fail, and I also did a lot of research and reading on what is the problem, even in the faith. What were the things? And one of it is that men are sometimes obsessed with work and stuff. So I know how to plug out. So sometimes I will not go out and I won't leave the house too early. Maybe I won't leave as early as most people want to leave. I may leave the house 9, 10, 11, just to spend time with my family a bit. Because I also know that maybe in the night, my baby's probably sleeping and tired at the time I'm in the hand. So things like that would help you balance. So of course, when you now also say Sunday, you're not doing any work, you're able to still do friends and all that. So yeah, that's I again, Pastor G, we used to train work-life balance. So if anybody cannot do work-life balance, you know, even though it has its difficulties, but yeah, it's still possible.
When I was in CU, it was something they were very particular about. I used to wonder
Toys
back then,
and all
like
those
why.
things. Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's really important.
It's important. Cartoons. So like for me now, Naruto, I've started anime. So it's probably the only anime I mess with. But I love comedies, either action figures, like things that just take you out, just make you happy. You know, keeps you grounded.
And I think we actually need, or you or entrepreneurs actually need this time where they just log out.
Yeah,
everybody does it. Everybody, even like
everybody, because even people that work in the bank and
there
stay
are
there.
people that don't.
Yeah.
There are people that don't actually. The money, like you said, some people are after the money, and
Yeah.
if you're after the money,
If you don't understand that, you just keep stressing yourself if you're chasing money.
Nice.
But yeah, I think we're at the end of today's episode.
There's going to be a part
There's
two.
going to be a part two. Definitely has to be a part two.
We're not done.
So
We're not done.
Wait, I you know, we talked about it earlier. The whole name King of Japa is funny today, but Isaac again, like I said, Isaac is responsible for that because
give me my flowers.
and you have
You,
okay.
bro.
Yes.
Who brought the name?
But Isaac,
Don't steal my flowers.
I think we should add it to the video when he said it because, and I was running away from it because I was fine with immigration doc because our lead consultant in Canada was an immigration doctor, so he's a doctor. Okay. So I was like, okay, since I'm here working and representing and all that, I felt that we should do that. But Isaac was like, no, if you are the best at something. And of course, social media and everything. So yeah,
you are the king of Japa. Even the Bible says you are royalty. So it suits.
Yes, royal priesthood.
Oh Lord.
So thank you guys. This has been fun. We have to record part 2.
Yeah, we're definitely doing part 2.
I don't know
because we have a lot that we want to give to you guys, like something that would really. What's the word? I don't want to say.
If you see me out of the country, just because Victoria had asked, I'm only going for holiday. I'm not interested. Because if you see me out of the country, I'm going to see my friends, and because it's been a while. My friend and one of our close brothers just went to school for masters. So me and my guy are like, August, we need to go. So everybody behaving themselves properly. Yeah, I need to be out of here for a bit.
Thank you so much, King of Japa.
Thanks for telling us your story.
Hope this was not too hot.
No,
was it hot?
It wasn't. I can talk about this for days.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's something you went through.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Enjoy.
Ciao, guys.